So yeah, what do you want to do?
Yeah, we'll start with just name what bands you've been a part of.
Am I talking to you or am I talking over there?
You can, whatever's comfortable.
Yeah.
Nothing's comfortable.
Yeah, I hear that 100%.
Whatever, dog. I'm Carter Brown. I'm the vocalist and guitarist in Thorn, and Thorn is my Screamo Scrams kind of initially solo project, and now we have a couple more members, Austin Duke and John Battleotto.
Sweet. And then let's start with when the first time you realized maybe you were listening to things that other people weren't listening to, or what was your first exposure to off-kilter music?
So generic kind of off-kilter was my dad is bass as hell. And my dad got me into System of a Down and Disturbed, and when I was in middle school, and my friends got me into Linkin Park and shit from there, and it's middle school, so really, really quick that's not the norm. But from there I got into, I straight up went kind of tech death for all of high school. I played in one pop punk band, and then I was like, this is boring, and I wanted to play tech death. I wasn't good enough to play tech death, but I really, really wanted to be good enough to play tech death. I don't know that it ever worked, but I tried for a long time to do that. And sometime in college, I was vaguely aware of kind of Midwest emo because I was just a degenerate that would lurk online on music forums and shit like that, And so I knew that it was there, but I'd never dove in. And I guess I got sad enough in college that I was like, I'm going to listen to these. And now I make Screamo.
Similar path for us.
Yeah.
What do you think you gained out of catharsis? Or even System of a Down, as based is that's still screaming and yelling, and so why do you feel you connected to that sonically?
Well, I think it's an easy way to feel frustrated and to feel that safely, and so as a kid that's an easy out. You could be like, I'm an angry kid, I gotta see, I'm pissed, and kill your parents, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. But whenever I got older, especially in college, I got kind of started getting into Screamo and Scrams, and it was a really big release. Because at that point, you get through middle school and you kind of have to let go of I can't just be screaming angry all the time. You don't have to, but I did. And I just saw groups of kids crying and screaming on stage together, and I was like, you could do that still? And I was so about it. I was very, very happy. So, that, to me, that's just a big release to be able to see that other people are feeling similar things to what you're feeling, and that you don't have to be afraid to express it, and you can do whatever you want with it. Shit's rules.
Excellent. When did you want to create music beyond just observing it? And you mentioned the pop punk band, but
I did guitar covers and shit as a kid, but yeah, whenever it was in college, it was basically it's a weird thing. There aren't a whole lot of heavy guys that make music. Hardcore, I will say that there's more than a lot of other genres that I at least pay attention to, but there aren't a lot of genres. But seeing modern baseball and Two Nights in particular, and I don't know how they identify with that at all, but to me, I'm a white dude. I don't normally even think about terms of representation or any shit like that, but seeing a fat dude on stage kind of play his heart out was really inspiring, and that hit at the same time that I was listening to Algae Bloom, and I realized that I can do this, just me, and I can do this, and it was like I said, I've been playing forever. I was just too much of a coward to make something out of it. So it was really cool. Excellent. It was a hype moment.
Yes. And then because there must have been nerves, the initial creation of music.
Yeah.
Or what do you think pushed you through that and enabled you to put it out there,
I kind of samples. I hearing bands that could use samples. I don't know, it feels almost like a cover. It feels almost like you can say, I'm feeling this. I was too afraid to admit that I was feeling one way or another, but I could put a sample from Perks of Wallflower in the beginning, or even meme sounds eventually, to just kind of separate myself. And now I don't have to do that as much, but in the beginning that was definitely something that I used, as I would use a sample of somebody else expressing, in my opinion, more eloquently than what I was trying to do. All my lyrics are, I'm fucking sad, just Mom Jean's I'm so sad lyrics on repeat. So, it helps a lot for me, and that was kind of a big push, was finding out, like, oh, I could just put a sample here and get away from it.
And then I want to touch a little bit on, like, because you mentioned, like, finding the Midwest emo playlists in college, and I remember, like, when I did too. What was that like hearing? Because a lot of those people on those playlists don't have like prominent streaming accessibility. They're it's super niche and obscure. So what was that like? I love like the search.
Yes.
For these weird bands.
Yeah.
Talk a bit about that.
So the search was, like I said, it was like, it was music boards and Last FM stuff. And I finally dove into one, and I think it was The World Is a Beautiful Place was the first emo adjacent band that I heard and was like, oh, like this is really good, like I want to make this. And really shortly after that, Count Your Lucky Stars put out a 2 or 3 2 or 3 file packs of all of their, like a sampler pack. And they just put them out for free, and it was on Bandcamp, and I didn't make music, so therefore I wasn't on Bandcamp. Like, I didn't pay attention. Like, I listened to bands on Bandcamp, but I didn't have one. And so, I downloaded that, and because it was a sampler pack, it was like 100 bands. It was like Posture and the Grizzly, and Cast a Bet, and stuff like that. And that really got me into it. And from there, it was just typing every one of those bands in on Last FM and being like, bands like, and finding the similar artists and scrolling down until I couldn't find anything else new. And that hasn't ended. That's still how I find bands. Is I'll listen to some new person will come up, and I'll listen to their stuff, and eventually they'll get a Last FM page, and you'll see what other people are scrabbling about it. And that's how I find music now, and it never ends, and it's really fun. It's a fun way to do it.
It's the best. It's the coolest. And in what ways do you feel the internet has both like helped obscure music, but also do you feel it's negatively impacted it as well? With all because there's so much talk about genre names and people getting upset at certain.
That's true.
Yeah. What do you think of the whole spiel?
I think it has helped, especially if you're in the scene. Like if you have a thriving scene, I don't think that it's as vital of a role because you know all the local acts in your area. But I can only speak for me from half rural Dallas, Georgia, Carrollton, Georgia. There's no scene here, right? Like if I didn't have a car that could get me to Atlanta for all of college, so there was a tiny scene in Atlanta at the time, and I couldn't get down there, and so you kind of were disconnected. So for me, the internet it's the only way that I've ever been able to connect to the scene, and it's why Thorn Tire was able to happen.
Likewise with us. So what's like first show for you? The first show you played.
Oh, the first show that I played?
Yeah.
Well, it was a Came Out Swinging show.
Okay.
Thorn Tire, actually, our first show is a party tomorrow. We haven't been a band until now.
3-piece for
Yeah, we hadn't had anything else, and like the thought of hooking up my electronic drums to something was daunting, and I didn't want to deal with it. And I knew a drummer. He just lives 2 hours away, and I was like, let's make this work finally.
Yeah.
We talked about it forever, so
tomorrow.
Are you nervous?
Tomorrow, baby.
Yeah, how you feeling?
No, I've played these fucking songs forever. I've played these songs for like 7 years. I'm not nervous. The drummer's not nervous because he's a god. Poor John is my best friend. He plays bass, and he plays bass because I gave him a bass 6 months ago, and I said, you play bass now. And he was like, I don't know if I could do this. I was like, I'm not a bass player, and I wrote the parts. You could do it, I promise you. Like, none of this like is super technical. So he's been grinding lately, and I think of us that is nervous, he's the most nervous, but I don't think any of us are really that nervous. We all know each other. The point of doing our first show as a party, it's not like there's a bunch of other bands or anything. It's just all of our friends who also play music and hang out. We're gonna go get drunk, eat pizza, and eventually we're gonna stumble our way into some guitars and fuck around, and that's all that we're doing. We figured that's the best way for the three of us who don't play together very often to just do it. And our friends all like this type of shit. Whatever's wrong with them for that. And so they're gonna let us do it. Can't wait.
Yeah, well, I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Just party and casual. I mean, we spoke to a few people that have said back there, like Marietta, Algernon, that said that's how it used to be. It's just you party and a band plays, but now that he says as time has changed, or as time has gone on, it's all about the show. Everyone has to pay a ticket, and it's much more official now. So I kind of like the way you're handling it.
Yeah, it's the best way for us.
Yeah.
It's what
What's like
makes
what?
sense.
So your friends all listen to this kind of music. What is the emo scene around here? Like
What's the demographic?
Yeah.
Who is the audience that you've seen?
I mean, I think it's probably the same as everywhere else. We just don't have as many shows to go to because we don't have as many bands, you know. So we only have in our mind the heavy hitters, which is like Oolong and Michael Sarah Palin and Tooth Cemetery, and whatever Jack Morris is currently making is what everybody is going. Hey, that exists now, and then we'll go to that show, and that's kind of. I mean, that is the scene. My friends kind of all took the same. I'm bringing them on the path with me, basically. We all listened to metal, and then I started making emo, and they were like, oh, is Carter okay? And like, they were like, no, he's not. Let's listen to what he's doing.
That's absurd. I feel like metal is like sadder than emo.
It is in a lot of ways, too. Like, yeah, it's not a hard, you know, sonically it's very different, but, you know, just emotionally, it's aggressively loud both ways. It's just one's kind of a little whinier, but, you know. So yeah, that's kind of all that I know about the scene is because it's so broken up. There are certainly a lot of shows. I know Atlanta area folks get to put on more. Like I said, we lived in Carrollton, which put us about 2 hours away from Atlanta. We were closer to Alabama than anything. And at the time, for most of college, I didn't have a car that could make it more than 20 miles. And so I could get to work and back, and that's all I could do. If I got on an interstate, I was fucked. And so, it wasn't like that idea was out. A few of us would kind of all pitch in to try and get somebody to drive us down to Atlanta for a big show, like a Mom Jean show, and then you would see like some other folks on the bill. But the idea of going to house shows like that seems to me to be more of like a, the city kids, not the city kids, but we're rednecks out here, so kids closer to Atlanta. Marietta kids, Kennesaw kids.
Totally. So you played in a pop punk band, and like we grew up. I think my introduction to like this whole genre would be like Mom Jeans and a lot of these more mainstream bands now. But there's a major distinction when I got into like what we now call scrams, right? And when did that like change? Like when did it turn from emo to like a much more harder like blast beat?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have just been along for the ride, and it's been really fun. I don't know where the distinction like happened, but I feel like the mainstream stuff, like it's easier to get into from any musical standpoint. Like no matter where you're coming from. Like I could show Mom Jeans to like somebody not even, if they've listened to pop punk, even though Mom Jeans is, a little different, they get it. They're like, oh, I understand this. Like Hot Mulligan kind of does the same thing. Where like if you're into pop punk, you can get into Hot Mulligan, and then you can kind of stretch from there. But there's like the screamy kind of vocals. The worse the quality gets too, if you can get past the like bad quality of the sound, like Commander Salamander's like EP, the one with Gross October on it, had, it was like a ridiculous quality EP, but it was wonderful. And if you can find one album where you can get over that kind of like sonic hump and get into something that's a little bit lower quality and has a little bit more scratch to it, it feels like a free fall. From there, you're into scrams now. Yep. Congrats. You need one more album and you're there. So.
100%. Then, what do you do outside of music as a job or?
Drink.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Get paid.
No, actually both of us we have to play fucking World of Warcraft tomorrow.
Oh, sure.
So that's kind of the other hobby. Like all of us are gamers, just to the gross extent that that's possible.
Likewise.
Yeah.
List off like 5 of the heavy hitters.
Yeah. We play World of Warcraft, we play Apex whenever we have to, Warzone, Overwatch, stuff like that, But But outside of that, I mean, me and John both work in accounting for an insurance company and living a full 9 to 5. Our drummer is a full-time drummer. He plays in like a rockabilly band, and he plays in whatever's going to pay him, really. So, I mean, that is our life outside of this. It's been something that's been really fun but difficult to work around. Is there are a lot of shows that happen on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and we've been invited to play a couple that happen on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And for us, that's probably never going to be a reality just because of how PTO works and how, it's hard. I have to go to the doctor. It's hard to justify taking an extra day off to go see a band or to go play a show. It's just, not feasible. And especially with a lot of these being in Atlanta and what time we have to get off, it's just a hard balance to try and fit. So that's why it's been so long trying to get a first show going.
Sure, totally. And then so it's hard to juggle professional life and passion projects, right? But how has it also helped you cope with the 9 to 5 existence? Because I know all this shit has helped me fucking.
It's kind of maybe an individual. Well, more people are working from home now.
Sure.
I work from home. It's wonderful. My I Miss the Water Tower was entirely recorded on the clock, not at my current job. But it was entirely on the clock. I got one of those little Liberty mouse movers that moves your mouse so that Teams never says that you're away.
AFK.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
It is very helpful working from home. If I was working from an office, this would be a lot harder. And that, the COVID project term is like a weird term because I started doing this in February, right before we started, February 2020, right before we got sent work from home.
Yeah.
And so it just worked out. And so I got sent work from home and I was like, well, I just started writing something. I didn't know what it was going to be yet. And I got to put it out right then because I got to be home. And it was the only way that I could see this have ever started.
Sure.
It was something that I wanted to do, but realistically it was going to be really hard driving to and from work and trying to do it. Getting to do it on my lunch break and just take an extra hour of lunch and just lie was a fucking blessing, and it was wonderful. Yeah, I mean that's just been the balancing act so far. Has just been hoping that I get to keep working from home.
I wish the best to you.
I'm hoping to coast, man. I'm hoping.
And then I'm curious, like, does your family know the music you make? Or?
Yes.
And what's their thoughts?
Well, so my dad is very supportive and always has been for like all of my guitar. I mean, he just loves that I play guitar. The EP's about hating my mom, so she knows it exists. I don't communicate with her, so I'm going to assume that she doesn't totally approve of it, but that's kind of the point. So it doesn't matter. My everybody in my life basically is very supportive. My younger sibling is going to be at the show tomorrow, and everybody's super supportive. They don't all get it, which is totally okay. That's not your deal, but they're very supportive of everything. Occasionally, my dad unfortunately has found my TikTok, so occasionally I'll post like something that I'm just feeling at 3 a.m. And my dad will like just post a sad face emoji, and I'm like, Dad, this was posted 4 months ago. I didn't kill myself. I'm not going to yet. I promise. It's okay. It's just a riff, and it was a feeling, and it's fleeting, and it's gone, and I'm okay now. But that's the only hang up with family. But they've been nothing but supportive.
Yeah. Okay, good. And then so your mom was the thesis to that EP, and I don't want to put you on the spot, and you go as personal as you want, but could you elaborate on that?
Yeah.
As much as you want.
Yeah. I don't mind. My mom kind of ditched us in when I was 18, but she ditched us and kind of became a very different person. She ditched us around 2016 when a lot of people's parents went particularly crazy. She amped up her conservatism a lot to the point of excluding a lot of stuff and saying some very hateful things. That collided with her, she moved away, and so she kind of distanced herself from us, but anytime, we would say something negative. If we didn't text her for a day, we would get like 4 pages of like, oh, so you don't love me anymore. So she's a narcissistic person and a pretty bad person, and it wasn't something that I noticed until I, started just, I would get a text that was just all caps fucking swearing at me, and I would read it laughing, because like, how else am I gonna handle it, to my friends, and they'd be like, that's wrong. And I was like, no way. I just didn't look at it that way, because you can't, because it hurts too much. And so for a long time I kind of limped that relationship along, and the EP ultimately was about, last year I made the decision to go no contact with my mom.
No contact. That's one of my favorite tricks.
Yeah. So it was a hard decision, but ultimately that is the happiest EP I've ever written, because it was hard. There's a lot of emotions in it, but it had to happen for me to be able to move on and being able to process that. And it happened as I was writing it, being able to put, I knew that was what it was going to be about, but realizing that like this is actually a happy EP was kind of a big surprise to me. And I didn't know it until the last song, and I was like, oh shit.
Yes.
So that's how that's helped.
Yeah, and then you kind of answered this next question, but I like the juxtaposition that something that sounds so sad can be so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so how has making this type of music helped your mental state? And you kind of answered that, but
yeah. It's only helped when I can't sleep, and normally I have a really big problem with vocalizing what's wrong. I have to sit and think about why. Like, I'll just get anxious for a few days, or I'll start having panic attacks. And I know what it is, but I don't, and I'm not ready to deal with it, and kind of like everybody is. But for me, this music has been, it's the release for it. I will get up out of bed at 3 or 4 in the morning whenever I just can't sleep, and I'll go write riffs, and then, usually samples are the first thing that come into it. I'll be like, oh, this would sound cool with like a Kingdom Hearts sample. And then I start thinking, oh, I could also just do this vocal thing over it. And then she wakes up for work at 5:55 or some shit, and I'm screaming in the garage, and she's like, you good? And I'm like, no, but I got a song now, so that's better.
Excellent. And then just for like B-roll, because we cut the teasers with like your favorite movies or games. What are some of your like other media that you ingest?
Yeah, right now I'm a World of Warcraft degenerate.
Okay.
If it's a grindy game, I'm in it. So Monster Hunter is the other big. I played Diablo 3 for a while. I played Diablo 3. The grind is good. The grind in Diablo is one. Seeing all the little dopamine boxes pop up on my screen, it's like this could be perfect. It's never good, but it could be. And so Monster Hunter Sunbreak just came out, and that is a very grindy game that I love and all of us love. So Monster Hunter is absolutely what I'm about to be on.
Okay, gotcha. How about you play any Borderlands?
I've played 1 and 2. Okay. I didn't play any other one after it.
So much in high school. Yeah.
Really?
Same thing. Dopamine boxes.
Yeah, you see the purple gun and you're like, oh, that's a cool ability. Yeah. I love how Borderlands does their weapons.
Yes, the drops.
Because all of them.
The color, yeah.
Well, and like if you know how to like play a shooter, all of them are like super fun.
Yes.
Like even if it's not like the best weapon, like you'll have some that do ridiculous stuff, or like acid damage. I always thought was the coolest thing. And and I always thought that was the neatest thing, because like even if it's not a straight upgrade, I can melt your skin now. That's sick as hell. So I've always, those games rule. I just never played after 2. I think I played the prequel
then it gets
game.
Fucking weird. Yeah. The prequel I wasn't in.
What is it? Tiny
We like
Tina's?
Tiny Tina's Wonderland,
Really?
which just came out. I thought that was fair. And it added a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons-esque.
Really?
Yeah. So
my younger sibling got into that, and they said that was like super fun, and they got like really into it.
We dug it.
I liked it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Probably last question. And this is the corniest one, but what something you know now from doing all that you have done musically and everything else. What's the piece of advice you would give young Carter when he was struggling, when it was sad as fuck. I don't know. It's like.
Yeah. No, I mean it is. I gotta think about that. Make music earlier. Stupid. Like I don't know. I can't overstate how much it's helped. Just screaming, not even making music, just screaming into a mic while my guitar's amped all the way up. It just feels great. Like panic attacks for me stop like the next day if I just do that. So yeah, just be more brave, little Carter. Do something earlier. That's all.
Perfect. You got anything, Tom?
Outside of games, what movies, animes, you know? I just don't know how much World of Warcraft B-roll we could throw in. Like, you know,
I can talk all about the Burning Crusade Classic, and I'll do it. No, we're both kind of weebs. We both watch our fair share of anime. I just got caught up on Attack on Titan. We
hated that new season, to be honest with you.
Huh?
That change of characters really.
It was so sharp. It was ridiculous.
People love it. I hated it. It was just I didn't even make it through. I hated it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I could make it through, and I liked the story. But yes, because these are characters, like if it was not characters that we knew or something, and somebody just told me that was a twist, I would be like, wow, that's neat. And then whenever they were like, oh yeah, Aaron does this, I was like, that's bullshit.
Exactly.
Like, it took him what? In my brain, because I binge watched it, after a few episodes had come out. So I waited until there were 3 or 4 episodes out, and then I watched all 3 or 4. Jarring as hell. It was, we watched the season before that too. So we just straight went from Aaron being like sympathetic hero and all that stuff to straight up like, oh, Aaron's kind of a Nazi anyway.
Yeah,
really, if you think about it, like it's fucked.
Yeah. It's brutal. Okay, so Attack on Titan.
She got caught up on Full Metal Alchemist, My Hero Academia. We rewatched that kind of recently. That rules. Full Metal rules. I started rewatching Trigun kind of recently because I hadn't watched that since I was a kid. And Cowboy Bebop is another like mainstay that like it's one of the only animes that I will go back and like watch like several times. Yeah, it's really comforting. It's good. Have y'all watched it? Like Cowboy Bebop?
I've never finished it personally. I don't know. My old one's Yu Yu. That's like my.
That's fair.
It's like the classic.
I haven't rewatched Yu Yu. I watched it as a kid, like whenever it would come on, but I never rewatched it.
I actually watched Hunter x Hunter first, which is by the same director, Yoshihiro Togashi. And then I was like, oh wow, that was fantastic. And then I found Yu Yu when I think I was like 20 already. But,
I didn't know it was the same director.
Dude, and
That's so cool.
Just absolutely, I love Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, I just really like it.
Alright, I'm rewatching Yu Yu.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
That's what's just happened.
It's like the top caliber, like tournament stuff. Or there's like my favorite fighting.
I love that y'all came here and you pretended that this was an interview about anime, but actually you're a brand ambassador for Yu Yu Hakusho. And you've succeeded.
It's like you've done it. It's like this is all just going to be one final advertisement at the end, just for something.
No, that's good. I support that. And you're doing really good. They should pay you. 100%.
We demand royalties.
100%. They're looking down their revenue charges and they're like, oh yeah, we gotta pay this like hardcore interview as a brand ambassador.
I think we covered it, man.
Drugs. And
really good segue.
I had it in my mind, but then I was just okay. What does Yusuke Urameshi up to?
When we talk to people, it's either 100% like vegan, straight edge, or total opposite. And what have you seen in the scene, and what has your personal experience been?
Mine, kind of the folks that I grew up around have kind of always been in a middle area. We're all of the I'll try drugs a couple times, but we all smoke weed and drink, and that's kind of where we limit. Like psychedelics are cool if you know the guy. But we live in fucking Dallas, Georgia. The guy lives over there. It's hard to find. In college, it was easier, but as an adult, it's just easier to get weed and booze. So that's what I stick to, and that's what I'm the most comfortable with. But as far as, other people in the scene, yeah, I've seen the same thing. You're either hardcore fucking straight edge, and that's rad as hell, or you're fucking stoner, which is also rad as hell. So whatever, live your life. But yeah, that's my only experience with capitalized letters drugs.
What did you? Not even an interview. What did you major in college, or did you finish, or?
I went for music. Couldn't read music. Turned out to be a problem.
Yes, that's surprising.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I made it through actually, and had those the pattern brain shit, and so I knew that if you wanted this key, I knew where to put the sharp signs. I didn't know what they meant, but I knew that that's how I could pass the test. But at second semester, I was like, this ain't gonna cut it. I can't keep faking this one. And one of the professors that is with you for all 4 years called me on it. He was just like, you're faking it, huh? And I was like, yeah, this is bad. And he was like, yeah, it's really bad. So I ended up getting a degree in marketing with a minor in music. It was kind of a throwaway. I was another person that was told my whole life that if you just get a degree, you're going to be all right. And the job that I work at now, my degree has no impact on me being here. It doesn't matter. I didn't need to get it. I am $30K in the hole that I'm never paying each shit forever. But, that's what I got. That's how it happened. From the University of West Georgia.
Yeah, we're kind of, I go to college
we're
right
opposites.
now. It's
we're opposites.
I'm sorry for ruining your life.
I was just find it.
What are you going to school for?
Neuroscience.
That's cooler than marketing. So good for you.
I don't know. I'm a
psychiatric technician with no college. Though. Yeah. So it's interesting because I fuck college is how
sometimes,
but I know it would give me a head start.
That's how you feel though, but it's always it's like anxiety inducing though. Just like we had this conversation today, honestly. It was a financial, just like fuck, just like, and it's just like he has, or I will pay for it. I'll take some debt because I, in my mind, will just I'll get a degree. Yeah, I'll have a good job at the end.
I mean,
it's just like a little concerning, but
it's never something I thought of going in. But there's a chance that you will get lucky, and there will be a president that will just move it every 2 fucking months, and for 2 months they'll call you and they'll be like, in 2 months you're gonna owe us money. Maybe you'll get lucked out and you'll never owe that money. They'll just keep stringing it along for the rest of your life. I'm kind of banking on it.
I'm banking on it right now.
I think you should hope for it. I think it could work. I think it could work, man. I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for it. Every time I get one of those campaign flyers or something, I'm like, just move it another 2 months. I'll vote for whatever the hell you want. Just keep going 2 months at a time, baby. I'll do it. But we'll see how it shakes out. Neuroscience. What do you want to be a neuroscientist? Or do you want to be a neuroscientist?
I thought about. I was thinking about clinical for a long time because I like connecting with people, but honestly, it just makes me motherfucking anxious. So I just want to work in a lab and just figure out what's wrong with people. And I've been through the med system. It's an expensive, lucrative business. So
healthcare.
Yeah. So exactly. So
I told you we do their accounting. It's very profitable.
Yeah, precisely.
It's exploitive.
It's awful.
Points. Yeah. Let's hit them here.
We will. I would. Am I allowed to say that I would prefer not to have a part in the interview thing, like in whatever gets recorded?
Oh
yeah, of course.
You can put it on some.
You have complete.
Yeah. I mean, we can always cut.
Just in case. The company that I work for is like the second largest insurance company in the world. Sure. We write off hundreds of millions of dollars just right off because the fucking money is fake. Insurance says this is worth $100 million. When you can look at it, it's worth like $100,000, and so it looks like we wrote off, hundreds of $1 million, but none of it's real. And every time, I have to send a very scary email and do a big bunch of reports, and I'll be like, I have to write off $100,000, and my boss is like, I don't give a shit, just do it. Stop talking to me.
Well, that's been our experience on the consumer side.
Yeah. Whenever I finally turned 26 and got to feel it, I was just like, no, you're fucking me, and I have the math to prove it. I have a file in here. I can get you.
I know.
I will say, just like Are you? How old are y'all? I'm sorry.
We're 22.
Yeah.
22. When you get to a point where like insurance is feeling overwhelming and you have something happen because you're both healthy and you're going to live until you're 150 years old and nothing bad will ever happen.
We'll see
But if it does, this seems so dumb, but just be nice to the rep that you call and ask for the self-pay discount, and you will always get it. I've worked for 100 locations across the country. You will always get that if you're nice. It's so I'll give it to you almost anyway, unless you're directly like an asshole. I'll give it to you anyway, even because I understand you're not happy. You're having a shit. You have a health problem and bills. That's the worst things you could have. I get that, but like guaranteed, everybody. If you're cool to them, we all have the permission to do it. It's just a straight up like if nothing else, it's 10% off of whatever the fuck you were gonna have to owe.
And to your point, the rep's not the issue. It's
Right.
not the rep.
We didn't choose to do it. No, none of that happened. My previous job, that was most of it. Was patients would call in.
Yep.
They would be like, "This bill's outrageous." I'd be like, "Yeah, it is."
And I
That
agree.
sucks, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? How do you want to handle this? And if it's very easy.
Does it feel? This is such a stupid question. There's been good helping people like giving
No,
that stuff.
it is
Whatever
a
that pay
stupid
movie.
question, but it's a good stupid question. It's a good stupid question. It does, but yes, every day I have to at the old job. Thank God, the new one is not. I don't do patient billing. We mostly deal with Medicare, thankfully. And so in Medicare, you almost never bill somebody. So I'm very happy for that. But at the old place, it was private practice.
Sure.
And yeah, it would feel like shit most of the day, billing patients ridiculous amounts for little stuff,
Yes.
And even though I'm not making the decision, sometimes you have to press the send button, and that takes a little part of your fucking soul every time you do it. And so that hurts. But conversely, yeah, it makes it feel that much better when you do get to help someone in the fucked up way that you are helping someone.
Is it balanced? Do you feel at the end of the day on a typical day? Is it like
No, not at all. It's infinitely worse than it felt good. Because you would get a day where you would have those wins once every 2 weeks. And so it wasn't like a day-to-day like, oh, I helped 8 people today and I burned 80. I feel pretty good. Like that never happened. You would have like 6 straight days of fucking people. Not me, I know. But 6 straight days of feeling like you're fucking people. And then one day where one old lady calls and is like, I'm not paying it. And I'm like, yeah, you're not. You delete it. Because you can get away with a certain amount, And so it had its merits. But no, I mean, it's the American medical system. Shit's fucked. There's no feeling good on the money side of it, and it's easy to get a job on the money side of it. It pays really well, so here I am. We exist. You can be communist and work for the fucking American medical system, I guess, but whatever. I'm not gonna dive into myself on that one, but that's how it is,
I think yeah.
You give
Kill
great.
it, yeah.
But I can attest all that. Being a psych tech, I work with institutionalized people who have committed crimes, but because of their diagnoses cannot go to jail.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty much the same shit.
Yeah. So
maximize profit.
What do you do? Like as the
cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
She does a lot more than cooking. He takes care of some business.
I mean, a lot of them are violent.
Oh, so you take care of them?
Yeah. A lot
That's
of them
fucking
are violent too. So restraints when needed, but really just be their friend.
Yeah,
I'm such a firm believer.
treat them like people.
Yes, I'm such a firm believer that good friendship and an ear can help a lot of
That's super sick.
Yeah, it's the same as
very
my
wholesome.
losses compared to my wins are in proportion.
Yeah.
I have a lot more bad days.
But the win's still good.
Yes,
You still feel very good.
I remember them.
You remember them. You can't remember all the fucking losses. But
I tend to forget them quite easily.
yeah, I forget them at about 3 beers, and then I'm good. I have no idea what happened at work.
Do you? This another one.
You guys' restroom.
Second door on the right.
When you're anxious, is there any like impulse to like drink? Is that an actual? Because and this comes from a place like honestly, we like took a shot before we came in here. 'Cause we always be getting nervous as fuck.
No. If I'm in a social setting, I do have like panic attacks kind of on my own a lot, and it doesn't really occur then. I would say that it is a thing. If I'm going to a show or meeting with y'all, I ordered beers yesterday because I haven't been drinking beers much this week. But yesterday I was like, I'm gonna have to do an interview. I need to chill out, and this to me, it is a crutch in that way.
Is there a way that you can do it healthily, do you think? Like, is there a way, like, there's a certain amount of crutches that I feel like you kind of need in your life, you know? Like, you shouldn't have to stand by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Is there a way you can, I don't know, relax?
I guess it would depend, right, on your version of healthy. If it's healthy to you to drink a couple of beers on occasions where you know you're gonna, if your life is constantly being around people and you need that and it does become a crutch, I guess it wouldn't be. But if it's a situational thing, if you're not somebody who's constantly having to go out and do that and put yourself in this anxiety-inducing situations, ultimately I'd say probably it's not very healthy. It's probably not the ideal for at least alcohol. I can only speak to the one that I drink. Weed, probably that's fine. I know I can't justify that, but I don't really see too much of a problem. There's a little bit, from my knowledge, less health problems with weed. But I'm not sure that it would be the healthiest thing to do. But it kind of depends on your opinion of health. It doesn't, if drinking a couple of beers is what gets you through your life, I mean, functional alcoholics exist, and a lot of them live really fucking old. And my dad always says Keith Richards is proof that heroin has a 0.1% immortality rate, and he's right. So it depends, if your version of health is making it to the end, then making it as long as you can, it could probably be pretty fucking healthy.
You know who William Burroughs is?
No. Who's William Burroughs?
He did heroin since he was like 16, made it to like 85.
Yeah. So it depends where your metric is. If your metric is living a long time, maybe. But if it's not needing something to get through a certain situation, which might be somebody else's version of it, then, guess not. I don't care. I really like the taste of beer, and I enjoy being drunk.
That's even my new excuse too.
No, I didn't.
I'm actually a big flake.
These are terrible. Yeah, these are terrible. But I tell myself they taste great, so I can keep drinking them and be like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a connoisseur. It's like a wine tasting. Yeah, thank you. That's one of those words that I've never heard pronounced, and thank you. You just solved something in my life.
Do you know who Native Nod is?
No.
The band?
Yeah.
The lead singer is a sommelier now. We interviewed Chris.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
He owns his own specialty wine shop.
Yeah, he was honestly fucking badass.
That's sick as hell.
Yeah, sommelier.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
so. What do you think you're gonna do when you're done with music? What's the plan, or is it?
Die, hopefully. I don't hope that I make it too much longer. I like if I am not doing something creative, it's a really hard day in, day out. Like I don't plan to not be making music, even if I don't release it, right? I know I kind of came off kind of strong with that, but genuinely, if I'm not making it even just for myself, it helps so much that I don't want to imagine not doing that. The only reason that I can go to work half the time and do work is because I know that at the end of the workday I get to do something else. And it's not always music. Sometimes it's art stuff. Sometimes it's playing games with friends. But if I can't do that, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. It's not fun. So, I don't think that I will be. I think that if I'm not, I kind of go through phases where I'm like super into one thing or another. And music is the same way. I'll go through a flurry and write an EP, and then I don't want to like make music for a while, but or at least release music for a while. But I'll still be talking about music and doing stuff with music and hyping up homies and shit like that. That was that was a big part of making Thorn Tire was because like I wanted to hype up some bands that I knew, but I was like, who the fuck am I? So I mean, that was a little bit of a push, was to like, all right, if I just put out these shitty 2 demos, then I can be like, I put out 2 shitty demos and I think this band is good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that. That's not how the real world works. But it felt to me like some kind of justification. So, yeah, I mean, if I wasn't making music, I'd be hyping up other people's music and finding some other way to be sad online.
All right, one more.
Live your life.
This
I don't care.
You already answered it. Like, are you? This is a real deep. No. Are you a happy person? No, we normally don't ask. I just you seem very open,
We're
so I'm just kind of
comfortable.
Yeah, no, well, I don't, I mean, like, yeah, I'm, it's, my Nana is kind of a very, it is how it is type of person, and, like, she had a big impact on me, and, yeah, even if I'm not happy, it is what the fuck it is, you know, and I, like I said earlier, I late at night, I go process shit, and I'll get in my head a little bit and kind of freak out a little bit, but, like, you know, during the day when I'm talking with folks, like, yeah, I think generally it's probably I'm a majority happy person. I'm not happy with the world or a lot of things in my life, but that doesn't bleed into my day-to-day very much. It just hits at fucking 2:35 a.m. every night. No, I'm just kidding. But it hits really late for just a minute. But yeah, I'd say that I'm probably a happy person.
business. All right, now I'm good.
It's a wrap.
Cool.
It's a wrap.
Cool.
Yeah.